So over the past year, most of my near 4,500 subscribers have come across my channel from mostly one thing: Super Smash Bros. So, for my 4,000 sub special, I feel it's only right to go through every single Smash Bros. Game and decide which ones I like the best and which ones I like the least. And don't worry, I won't let nostalgia blind my decisions on this. Despite nostalgia being a powerful tool, I don't let it get in the way of my choices. And remember, this is just my take on the games. If you like other Smash Bros. Games more than I do, that's fine. This is just my opinion on them. But before we get into it, I wanted to thank you guys for nearly 4,500 subs. I didn't think I'd ever get this far, and I appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me over the past 7 years on my channel. So, with that said and done, let's get into the video. When I talk with people about Smash Bros., more often than not, Smash 64 is not mentioned very much, and I don't know why. Every time I play Smash 64, even today, I'm always reminded at how much it still holds up. The gameplay is great, the soundtrack is very well remembered. Sure, the graphics haven't aged too well, Decagon Kirby especially. Yes, Decagon is a word, look it up. But you don't need good graphics to have a good time, and this game is still really good. It was one of the first games to introduce people to 4-player fighting games. Before this, most people only had 2-player fighting games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Here, you could have 3 of your friends together and battle it out, and the characters were from Nintendo, a game company that was known at the time for censoring violent video games on their consoles. So Nintendo fans knew this was going to be something different. The result was a great step forward with Nintendo, because unlike Street Fighter, you didn't need to memorize a lot of button combinations, and unlike Mortal Kombat, it didn't rely heavily on violence to differentiate itself from other fighting games. This was a game that you could pick up and mostly figure out how to play within a few matches or so. You didn't need papers filled with combinations for fatalities or advanced button combinations to have a good time with the game. You could probably just mash random buttons together and have a better chance at winning than you would with other fighting games. The intro was good, showing us how all the characters come to life, and the title screen is great, displaying the main logo with fire burning behind it, showing us this is no ordinary Nintendo game. The stages, for a Nintendo 64, weren't that bad either. They weren't too barren to feel bland, but they weren't too clustered to feel overwhelming. My favorite stage probably has to be Metal Mario's stage. I wish they'd remake it one day, and while I'm on that too, Metal Mario's theme in single player is my favorite original Smash Bros. Song to this day. His footsteps clanging like metal while the music is playing in the background is wonderfully put together. While we're on the topic of soundtrack as well, Smash 64 still has good music. Most stage themes have that 90s video game feel to it, and I don't really have a least favorite stage either. They're all not that bad. A lot of things about Smash 64 was good, and 5 sequels later it shows it's still good as a fighting game. So why is it that people don't often talk about Smash 64? I think I know why. It's very limited in gameplay. There's only 2 modes in Smash 64, single player and multiplayer. Even with 12 characters, you can only do so much with it. I couldn't pick a favorite character from the first one because they're all iconic in their own rights, and I love all these characters the same. Yes, even you, Jigglypuff. Single player has what's referred to as Classic mode now, where you go against a fixed set of opponents and play 3 minigames in between. Break the targets and board the platforms I still really enjoy, and I wish they'd bring those back to newer Smash Bros. Games. Race to the Finish was really good, even if the Melee version was better, I still like this version too. And at the end of it all, you fight Master Hand, who is probably one of the most recognized video game bosses ever made. But aside from Classic mode, that's really it for single player. I mean, there's break the targets and board the platforms separately, but you can only go for so long before it gets boring. Now, of course, you can face CPUs in multiplayer too, but why do that if you can have some friends play with you instead? It's fine if you have no other option, but eventually you're gonna want to rub a KO in your friend's face, because of course you are, that's the best part. And anyone who's going against friends or hard CPUs should know Kirby is the most broken character of the roster. His upwards hit stun alone is enough to make you decent with him after a short time. I mean, look at that! That's insane! If you're wanting to have a competition too, Dreamland is the only viable stage as well, because the other stages have too many hazards and just aren't made for competitive matches. The best stage and the best character are both from the Kirby franchise. It's like Sakurai didn't want his creation to look bad, so he made them the best way he could in this game. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. If I was a main influence in something with my creations in it, I wouldn't want them to look bad either. I mean, I don't know why Sakurai made Kirby a god in 64, but made him really, really bad in Melee, but that's besides the point. Back to the game. Even with Smash 64 and its limited features, it still has a big community to this day, with some people even adding more onto it. A Project M version for Smash 64 is available now, where you have much more to do with it than what was in the original game, and I'm glad to say that, because honestly, this game deserves more recognition than it normally gets. It was the first step in a game series most of us love and enjoy today, and it's a shame it's not talked about as much as the others. Now, where is Smash 64 on my favorites list? I can safely tell you guys it's not on the bottom. I'm pretty sure you all know which one is on the bottom. And while it has aged well, it doesn't have enough to put it in the top 3. So I'm gonna place it at 4th. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. None of the Smash games are horrible. There's just so much more the top 3 have that it doesn't. Regardless of that, though, it's still up there with games like Star Fox 64, Ocarina of Time, and Super Mario 64 as one of the best Nintendo 64 games, and I still enjoy it to this day. I'm gonna say it right now, I don't care. Melee is a bit overrated, but I'll get into that later. I just wanted to get it out of the way first, and just know I'm not a huge Melee fanboy. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the first thing you see in the game, the intro. When 8-year-old me saw this, I only thought 2 words. Holy shit. To me, this is still the best intro to any Smash Bros. Game to date. It's amazing. I don't know one person who doesn't like this intro. Just like the intro, the title and main menu have upgrades as well. The title screen makes you feel like you're stepping into a completely different game than the one before. The main menu is so much better than the first game. Look at this! It's so great! How can you not like this main menu? In said main menu, which looks futuristic on every screen and Melee pulls it off very well, you have more options too. Single player got a lot more recognition, classic mode is now random on who you fight, and Crazy Hand I think was a good addition to the game. Event mode was added too to give players so much more playability, and I even played and beat all of them as a kid. Event 37 is still my favorite solely for the fact that you can have chaos on the screen with so many legendary Pokemon, and Wobbuffet too, don't forget about Wobbuffet. Adventure mode is available, which to me is the best mode they've added to any Smash game to date. God, my jaw dropped when I first saw Giga Bowser, and All-Star mode, that's not too bad either, it's alright. There's also Stadium, which gives you home run contest, which I know many of you, like me, always play this with your friends to get the furthest distance possible. Ganondorf is the best in this mode, and no one else can compare to him. You also get Break the Targets, or Target Test, but nobody really calls it that, everybody calls it Break the Targets, even the announcer does. Break the Targets! Which is even better this time around, and there's even multi-man Melee with many different scenarios for you to explore, and training is training, of course. Multiplayer got new add-ons too. You got normal Melee, tournament Melee, a mode which I know a lot of schools played at the end of the school year, special Melee which adds a lot more ways to play the game, more customizable rules, and you can even have a 4-letter name on your fighter, which let you separate yourself from other players. And now, there's 25 fighters in total instead of 12. And after all of that, you still have a collection part of the game, trophies. I, for one, loved trophies, and when I'd collect a new one, I'd feel so proud of myself. I can understand why they took it out of Ultimate, but I still enjoyed trophies for what they were. The game got a lot more stages too, with 29 compared to 9 in the Smash 64 version. 3 were brought from 64, of course, but that's still 26 mostly original stages. I think Fountain of Dreams is probably my favorite one in this game. It looks so good, and the song is even better. It starts as some nice, relaxing Kirby song, then it turns into something you would hear in Lord of the Rings. It's amazing. I gotta say one thing, though. Oh. Hang on. Wow. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Why Pokefloats? Why? Why does this stage exist? I found it strange as a kid, and I still find it strange to this day. Icicle Mountain is also another stage that comes to my mind when I think of Smash stages I don't really care for, but aside from that, you got a pretty big selection of good stages. I don't know about you guys, but Ganondorf is my main character in this game. I play as him mostly for the satisfaction of getting meteor smashes on my enemies, like, listen to this. Oh, wait, not that. This. It sounds so satisfying to me, like softly crunching freshly made bread in a high-end restaurant. It's... Oh, the other characters. Pretty good to say the least. I really liked Martha and Roy in this game because it gave Fire Emblem exposure to the rest of the world, whereas before this, it was mostly a Japan-only thing. So it's good to see they gave the series some deserved exposure. Dr. Mario is great in my book. I loved him in Melee, Smash 4, and Ultimate. Fight me. And I had no idea who Mr. Game & Watch was until I played Melee, so there's some more exposure to Nintendo's roots. So, yeah, overall, it was pretty good. Now, the gameplay is different than the other Smash games, to say the least. The gravity feels heavier in this game, and ledges are harder to grab than normal. The atmosphere feels like it's trying to be futuristic, and it does it wonderfully. Zelda turns into Sheik, which I thought was really cool as a kid. Pichu is not good. Kirby is bad, and Bowser... No, I don't even have to explain Bowser. Now on the opposite end, Fox is... Marth's grab could probably get somebody from a different game of Melee on the other side of the street. Dr. Mario is somehow better than his original counterpart. Ice Climbers... Yeah. Some characters are very broken, some characters are just walking targets, so I'd say it all evens out. Mostly. Now, of course, I've saved the best part of the game for last, the soundtrack. The soundtrack, while limited, is incredible with what you have. The menu songs, Break the Targets, Home Run Contest, there isn't one bad song in this whole soundtrack. Not even Pokefloats. The Pokefloat song is good too. Despite the stage being really bad, the song is more memorable than the stage itself, honestly. But anyways, out of all of this, where does Melee stand on my list? You know what? I'm putting it smack dab in the middle of the list. Because to me, it has a lot more to make it better than the bottom two, but you can't ignore that there is a lot of flaws in this game as well. Now, of course, no game is perfect, and Melee is far from it. It's just not the best Smash Bros. Game to me, but it's not the least good one either, and despite the fact that the GameCube didn't sell well, this is still the most recognized Smash Bros. Game to date. So for me, putting it in the middle is a good choice, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite GameCube games of all time, and it's still fun to play even today. Oh god, do I have to talk about Brawl?
Yes, Bronze. If you talk about Smash Brothers, you have to mention Brawl.
Okay, fine. Oh, by the way, guys, that was my robot assistant. She's kind of new to the channel, so I don't have everything made for her just yet, but expect to see her in future videos. When I talk to people about which Smash Bros. Game is the best, no one mentions Brawl. And looking at the other games, I can kind of see why. Now, don't get me wrong, Brawl is by no means a terrible game. Hell, it's not even a bad game at that. Yes, it does have its flaws, but it also has some ups, too. The intro is nice, showing us many new features and characters to the game. The title screen is pretty good, to say the least. The menu's not bad either. Not what I was expecting from the worst game, and Brawl did take Smash Bros. In a lot of new directions, and some of those directions are still used to this day, including the look of the game, which, when looking at all of them, Brawl looks the most bland. Colors don't pop out as much, and it stays around the same bland palette. The stages and characters look better, but the bland look gives it a different feel, to say the least. The roster has more characters this time, taking a few out in favor of the more recent ones in the same series, but that was inevitable. Dr. Mario was replaced with Wario, our boy was replaced with Ike, young Link was cast aside for Toon Link, Mewtwo was thrown out for Lucario, and Pichu was... well, Pichu was taken out for Pichu's sake, let's just call it that. With that being said though, despite there being 10 more character slots, we actually got 15 new characters. My favorite one? It's gotta be Rob, this beautiful specimen of a machine who people probably thought was Wall-E when the game first came out, because this game and that movie came out very close to each other. Yeah, his final smash isn't the best, but I love Rob, so he's definitely my favorite newcomer in this game. A side note, I didn't care that Snake was in Smash either, and I still really don't care to this day. If you like it, that's fine, but I wasn't too big on it. Bite me. Overall, the character selection isn't too bad. The stages aren't bad either. My favorite one is definitely Spear Pillar, hands down. I'm sorry, I'm a Gen 4 boy at heart. Of course this is going to be my favorite stage. We also got some really good stages aside from that too. Delfino Plaza is nice, or Plaza, however you pronounce it. Halberd is good for visuals, and Fire Emblem finally got a stage too. My least favorite has to be 75M. That stage is a 20% KO fiesta, and I don't like it for that. Thank God they fixed it in Smash 4. But not only do we get new stages, we got stages from Melee too. No stages from 64, but Nintendo knew Melee was the favorite child, so they weren't going to miss any Melee stages that people loved. But if those stages don't satisfy you, there's also Stage Builder now, where you can make your very own stages yourself. To a degree. There wasn't much options with this Stage Builder, but at least they did it. One item I want to point out in this game is the Smash Ball. This baby gave us a whole new look on Smash games. Just when you think you've won it, here comes a Smash Ball to turn the tables or to give last place a boost. Look how broken DK's Final Smash is on small stages. But even with that, Ike's still has to be my favorite in Brawl. It's so beautiful when you hit someone with it. It's majestic. It's so good. So out of all the bad things in the game, I will always respect Brawl for introducing us to Final Smashes that we all know and love today in Smash. The soundtrack for the game is amazing as well. I don't think you can even have a bad Smash Bros. Soundtrack, but it did have its bad songs. Area 6 version 2 is probably my least favorite. That amazing song did not deserve that bad remix, and you could even change the likelihood of songs being played on stages. I thought it was a great addition too. Now you can have songs play rarely or very often. It was completely up to you. Now, when we look at the game modes for Brawl, single player isn't much different except for them replacing Adventure with a Subspace Emissary, which, for a story without words, I think they did okay. But for some reason, it feels like the characters are slower than they are in the actual fighting part of Brawl, but that might just be me. Alright, quick editor's note here. As I was editing this part of the video, I actually looked a little bit more into this, and it turns out characters generally do run slower, fall faster, and jump better than in the Brawl part of the game, so yeah. I was right. My favorite scene from the Emissary has to be where Taboo is revealed in Bleeding Master Hand. Yes, those blue spots are blood. It's freed from the chains and he gets up like, "You son of a bitch, just wait until I get my hand on you." And Taboo isn't too bad of a character villain either. I just wish there were words in it besides, "Hey," but overall it wasn't horrible. But aside from that, single player is pretty underwhelming, but the events aren't bad, home run contest is not as good as Melee, but enjoyable, and boss battles is pretty fun too, so still, not the worst thing in the world. Vault is a thing now with trophies, stickers, photos you could take in-game, challenges, which I know I spent a lot of time on Brawl's challenges and the challenges in the Smash Bros. Games afterwards. You also had replays, a collection of older games, and even release dates for older Nintendo games. I liked it, it was a nice addition to the game, but aside from new trophies, there isn't much more to say about it. Except for stage building letting you access Project M, but I'll get to that later. Regular 4-player fighting is essentially the same with some upgrades, and you can even play online this time, which makes me question why didn't they think about updates for the game? You could download games from the Wii Shop and online play was implemented, so why aren't there updates? Because, trust me, when it comes to the gameplay, it needed it. Meta Knight alone was more than enough to justify updates. Tripping could have been reduced to 0% likelihood. I don't know why they thought that was a good addition to the game, and the gameplay feels a bit slow, but maybe that's what they were going for, so I won't complain about that. And Ganondorf? Oh, Ganondorf. You deserve so much better. You know, side story here, I was actually a Ganondorf main when I played a lot of Brawl back in the day, and I beat all of my friends most of the time, so that should show how bad we were at the game. One of my friends even mained Meta Knight and would lose to me but a handful of times. Damn, we were not good at Smash Brothers. Of course, we're older and much better at Smash Brothers now, but when I later figured out Ganon was this bad, I felt even worse for my friends looking back. I can't believe we were that bad at the game. So yeah, all things considered, I think Nintendo, like Nickelodeon with My Life as a Teenage Robot, really dropped the ball on this. There's so much more that could have been done to help the game, but it just didn't happen for some reason. Now, it's not all that bad. We did get some really good stuff from Brawl, like Final Smashes, Assist Trophies, and Stage Builder, and I still think it's a good game overall, but to me, it's the least good Smash Brothers, so on my list, I gotta put it at the bottom. Now, of course, there is Project M, but I don't think considering that would be fair since it's not part of the actual game. Yes, it does make certain parts of the game better, but it's fan-made. Of course they're gonna make it like Melee. Okay, going off script here. I, wrote this script, and then my Wii suddenly stopped reading discs, so I had to go through all of Smash Bros. Brawl all over again to unlock all the characters and stages for this video. And once I went back through it, I realized there was another reason why I didn't hate Brawl as much as other people did, and it's because when Brawl first came out, one of my best friends, Eric, and I were really excited to play it. He was a huge fan of Giga Bowser, and the fact that you could play as him even for a few moments made him really excited to play it. We were 4th graders at the time of Brawl's release. Of course we wanted to play the new Smash Brothers, but sadly, he'd pass away before we had the chance to play it together. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy Brawl more than other people do, because it reminds me of the time he was still with me, and his friends and I could just imagine him yelling, "Giga Bowser, he's here!" And the look of excitement on his face when he'd see him every time. I enjoy those memories, and I miss you, Eric. I love you, man. But, yeah, to me, Brawl is not as bad as people make it out to be, and I still wouldn't mind playing it today with one of my friends if they wanted to. It's just that there are better Smash Brothers games that came after this, like the one we're about to talk about. Smash 4 is like Smash 64 nowadays, as in, it's often overlooked compared to the 3 main Smash games people talk about, and similar to 64, I don't know why. We got a lot of good things in Smash 4. Now, to keep the video from being any longer, I won't mention the 3DS version that much until I talk about stuff that was made only for the 3DS copy, so for the most part, I'll talk about the Wii U version. The intro is... it's not the best, but it isn't bad per se, just not as good as the others. The Smash Icon opening cut is iconic, but what it cuts to is odd. Shulk and Marth fighting? 2 characters from game franchises not well known at the time? I don't know. It's still not bad, but not that good as the others. The title screen is nice in 1080p finally, but it's no Melee or 64 level good. The main menu is... okay, it's not good. Like, at all. Sections of the menu are very misleading. You'd think it'd be one place, but it's actually somewhere else. But I do like the background flying past silhouettes of the Smash roster. It's just a shame the menu is such trash. The soundtrack, like every Smash Bros. Soundtrack, is amazing. I can't find a bad song in this game, but if I looked enough, I probably will. But for my own sanity, I wasn't about to unlock every single track in Smash 4 and listen to them all. If there is, I haven't found it. There's not really much else to say about it. The soundtrack is amazing like the other Smash Bros. Games, and I still listen to some of them today. The roster got a big upgrade this time, and I mean big, going from 35 to 58, and this time, Zelda and Sheik are separate characters, which was a blessing and a curse for different reasons I'll get into later. But with this roster, you got newcomers, veterans returning, characters from non-Nintendo-based companies coming into the roster regularly, and honestly, it's good. Like, really good. My favorite newcomer this time had to be Robin, specifically female Robin. Palutena is an extremely close second, but Fire Emblem means so much to me, especially Awakening, and female Robin is my favorite Nintendo girl, so Robin has to take it for my favorite newcomer. My least favorite has to be Duck Hunt. It's like Nintendo said, "Sorry for no ice climbers, here, have another retro character." My favorite veteran, Dr. Mario, I love you, but Roy had to take it for me in this game. I remember when I got the update that Roy was DLC, I yelled with joy at 5:30 in the morning in my room. My mom came to check on me to make sure I was okay, I yelled so loud. Also, something you probably didn't know for a while is that Dr. Mario actually had the title of being the first and only veteran to return to Smash Bros. So despite all the backlash Dr. Mario got in Smash 4, he had a unique role in that game for a while and is still the first veteran to return in any Smash Bros. Game, so the Doctor's got that going for him. Also, every time I use his final smash, I yell, "Take your fucking vitamin!" I wasn't too happy when I learned that we'd have to pay for the new characters instead of it being free DLC, but paywalls are just how modern video games are, sadly, so that was inevitable and I just accepted it. Another odd thing was the huge support of Fire Emblem characters we got in Smash 4. I mean, I understand that Fire Emblem is huge in Japan and Smash Bros. Is Nintendo's biggest game on the market. Actually, I'm not too sure about that. Mario Kart may have that title, but that's besides the point. I can understand why the amount of Fire Emblem characters from Brawl to 4 tripled or quadrupled, depending on if you consider female Robin and female Corn a different character or not. And also, not too long before this, Awakening was a big hit in the States. Actually, it was thanks to Smash 4 that I rediscovered what Fire Emblem was. Because, like, let me ask you this. You ever play a game as a kid and can't remember the name of it until you come across it about 10 years later as a newer installment in the series? That was me with Fire Emblem. I played the Sacred Stones as a kid and loved it so much that my sister could barely keep her Game Boy away from me. I love the Sacred Stones so much. And both the Game Boy and Sacred Stones were bought for her, and I played it more than she did. When I saw Robin and Lucina, I thought, who are these people? Fire Emblem? Huh. I'll have to check it out. And now, Fire Emblem was one of my favorite game franchises ever. Hell, I didn't even mind Corn being in Smash. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Fire Emblem Fates right now is probably my favorite game ever. Mostly because of the experience I got with the whole game, and because of how the game helped me at that point in my life. I even own a brand new, unopened copy of Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition, and yes, I did spend more money on it than I'd like to admit, but it's my favorite game, so I made an exception. I had to own a Special Edition of the game brand new. But I'm getting off topic. Back to Smash 4, the introduction of DLC showed us that any character we could think of could potentially be in Smash. Except Ice Climbers. Man, I miss them in this game. And if not as a fighter, then a Mii costume, which I'll admit isn't as good, but better than nothing. I mean, King K. Rool Mii outfit kind of pissed off a lot of people, but we don't talk about that. So with that considered, DLC alone gives Smash 4 a huge plus over the first 3 Smash games. And updates too, don't forget about updates. The stages are really good too, even giving specific stages to the 3DS and Wii U depending on what games came out for them. And I thought that was a really nice touch. I mean, it's sad the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 7 stage wasn't on the Wii U, but DLC exists, so there's hope for it to come out as a remake in the future. Speaking of that stage, that's probably my favorite stage from Smash 4. Like, I can't even explain it. If you've played Mario Kart 7, you know what I'm talking about. Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 7, to me, is the best stage out of the whole Mario Kart franchise, and the fact that they made a stage after it just warms my heart, because I feel like Mario Kart 7 was overlooked by a lot of people, and Rainbow Road was amazing, so I'm glad they gave it recognition in Smash Bros. My least favorite stage in this game has to be Pac-Land. God, that stage sucks. But like the ones before it, Smash 4 still has some pretty good stages, with a few bad ones. Now, up to this point, I really haven't talked about the items in the Smash games, mostly because they're not that big of a topic to talk about, they're just accessories in the game, but one thing I want to say is that the Gus Bellows is by far the cheapest KO item ever conceived. I hate it with a dying passion, and I will always play Smash Bros. Without it. I hate that Gus Bellows item so much, and I'm glad a lot of people agree with me on it. Single player got a few more add-ons too, even having specific modes just for the 3DS and Wii U, most notably with Master and Crazy Orders for Wii U, but we also lost Break the Targets, which still bugs me to this day. I mean, I can kind of see that they were kind of shifting away from character-specific Break the Targets in Brawl, since we only got 5 of them, whereas compared to Melee and 64, each character had their own specific Break the Targets. But at least Home Run Contest is better. Classic mode got Master Core, and when I first saw Master Core, I nearly shit myself, it was so cool. And with Master and Crazy Orders, you'd be given a certain challenge to complete, and you'd get rewarded for it too. And if you failed, Master and Crazy would be like, no, 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 not this time, you gotta try harder than that. I played Master and Crazy Orders a lot when I played this game regularly, and the 3DS even has Smash Run too, which I know isn't technically single player only, but I had to include it somewhere in the script while feeling naturally included, and it's a shame Smash Run wasn't on the Wii U version, and instead we got Smash Tour. Ugh. But yeah, seeing 4-player split-screen Smash Run would have been amazing to see if Smash Run was put on the Wii U. Speaking of multiplayer, Wii U introduced 8-player Smash, and oh my god, I love this mode. The screen is just chaos most of the time, and it's a sight to see for sure. But now, not only could you play against CPUs in Smash, you could also play against amiibos now, a customizable CPU with limitless potential. I don't know about you guys, but I love amiibos. I mean, look at my collection. This is just the main part of it too. I've got well over a dozen more that are off this display. I love the idea and the execution of them. Yes, it's basically Nintendo Skylanders, but it's so much better than Skylanders to me. But aside from that, you basically got the same thing you did in Brawl, aside from the trophy shop. Still though, the few new additions they made to Smash 4, to me, made it more worth playing. Also, speaking of the trophies, you know that Bayonetta was the last game franchise to have trophies in Smash Bros.? A non-Nintendo-based game series having the last trophy in one of Nintendo's biggest game franchises. Crazy, huh? Now, gameplay-wise, this game is beautiful. 1080p shines in this game, and the details are amazing. I don't even have to back this up. This game looks great. However, despite the great details, some characters are just broken and some are just bad. You know who I'm talking about when I say broken, and you know who I mean when I say bad. Coming back to what I said earlier, splitting Zelda and Sheik was a blessing for Sheik, but a curse for Zelda. They're complete opposites in this game, and it really shows. But, aside from that, the game is pretty well balanced when it comes to good and not so good fighters. If you took out the top and bottom two tiers, you'd have a pretty well balanced roster on your hands. More balanced than other rosters, that's for sure. But that S tier, oh my god, that S tier. Even Brawl's Meta Knight and Melee's Fox would get nervous fighting any of these three. But, it's a game. It's gonna have broken characters, so I think it's alright, considering a lot of the tiers have a good handful of characters on them, and the top and bottom tiers don't have too many either. So after all of that, where does Smash 4 stand on my list? Considering it has updates, DLC, which showed us that anyone can be in Smash, and returning veterans, I had to put this at second on the list. There's too many good things about this game to not put it above the previous three. But oh boy, we still have one more game to talk about, and it just so happens to be the last game on this list. Okay, let's be real. You all knew what number 1 was going to be. If you didn't, you need to play this game more. Smash Ultimate is number 1 in many people's books, and it sure as hell is number 1 in my book. The intro, amazing. I don't even have to explain why. Title screen, sleek, clean, beautiful. 1080p still shines. I don't care we didn't get 4K. This is more than enough for me. The main menu is so much better this time around. Everything is easily accessible and you don't have any trouble with finding something. The soundtrack kicks ass. More ass than any other soundtrack to me. The roster is packed, featuring every single Smash Bros. Fighter in the game's history. Ice Climbers returned. King K. Rool in Smash was a dream I never knew I had, but I'm glad I did because he's amazing in the game. And with Joker joining Smash and more DLC packs coming out, Nintendo has shown us that anyone can join Smash Bros. I mean, I didn't like it at all when Joker was first announced, but I've moved on past it and I don't really mind it anymore. If you like him, you know, that's fine. I mean, I still can't believe Banjo and Kazooie are in Smash Bros. And now we have Sans, Cuphead, and Vault Boy as Mii costumes. Good Mii costumes. Not King K. Rool from Smash 4. Good Mii costumes. The stages are amazing. I was a little upset that not every stage from Smash was in Ultimate, but you can't have everything, and DLC can always give us what we want in the future. Spirits mode has the World of Light, which is a great story mode for Smash Bros. Subspace cannot compare to it. Break the Targets isn't here, but hey, they put Home Run Contest in Ultimate, so anything's possible. Stage Builder was put in, and it's so much better than the two before it. Multiplayer is just as amazing as ever. Squad Strike is great, I love that mode. Amiibos are still supported in almost any way you can imagine. Sure, you have to either reset and get rewards or like keep the level a little higher than level 1, transitioning them from Smash 4 to Smash Ultimate, but it's not too bad. There aren't any more trophies, but we got Spirits in its place, which is just as good if not better, considering all the extra things we can do with Spirits, which is so much more than we ever got with trophies. I can understand why they did this. Now, the gameplay. You know, do I even have to talk about this anymore? We have so much in Ultimate. The details are so good. The Pokemon and Assist trophies look amazing. I also like the fact that after Ridley's final smash, Samus's ship can be seen falling in the background. That's really good attention to detail. This game... I'm getting choked up. This game is just so beautiful. I got choked in my own saliva talking about this game. Give me a second. Okay. This game is just so beautiful. The stages are beautiful, assist trophies are better than ever. You have so much more of a reason to scramble for Pokeballs than you did in the other games. I mean, yeah, you still scramble for them from Smash 64 onwards, but this one, there's so much more Pokemon, it's impossible not to scramble for one. And I don't know about you guys, but Seeing 8 players fight with a handful of Pokemon and 2 assist trophies on screen at once with the stage morphing is a sight to see for sure. If you haven't seen it, put on 8 players, assist trophies, Pokeballs, and Master Balls only with final Smash meters on, and get ready for a Chaos Fest. And even if there's broken characters, sure there is, there's always constant updates, so you don't have to worry about online being nothing but 3 characters. Hopefully. But yeah, Ultimate is... I mean, I can't put it in any more words than what I've already said. It's amazing. The whole game is amazing. There's so much more to it, and so much more to it in the future. And I feel like it deserves the top spot on my list. It's a wonderful game that everyone should play, and I'm glad I got where I am on this channel mostly because of this game. And I want to thank you guys for that. I love making content like this, and to see people enjoy what I make makes me feel good. I love entertaining people, and I love entertaining you guys. So... thank you all for the love and support you've given me over my channel's lifetime. And a side note, post-script edit, if you guys are wondering, no, I did not play any of these games on an emulator. Every single one of these came from an original Nintendo hardware, albeit Smash 64 was from the Wii Virtual Console, but if you're wondering why these games look so good, that's because I have a product called an MClassic. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I kind of wish they were, though, you know, call me MClassic, but anyways. The MClassic is a portable graphics upscaler for modern and newer consoles, because, you know, they say PC can have graphics upgrades, why can't consoles? And the reason why these games look so good for this video is because I use the MClassic, so if you're interested in it, just go check it out, and, you know, links in the description and stuff. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, I just can't believe how good the MClassic is for its price. It's really nice, and I'd highly recommend it if you're a huge retro fan. Now, of course, I know I missed a lot of things in this video. I can't go over everything, so if I did miss something, let me know somehow. In the comments, in my Discord, on social media, you know, all that. I like talking to my fans and seeing what they want next. Well, mostly. Regardless of that, though, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks again for 4,000 subs. Take care, and have a good one.